Hello guys, it's Glurmit here. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. Today's video is going to basically be me covering my account, where it's going, and maybe you guys can learn a bit from my thought process in kind of getting it going again. So as you guys will know, it has been a long time since I've uploaded videos, more or less 7 months. And even before then I was on a 3-month break. So we're looking at around about 1 year. That's not 1 year out of the game, just to clarify. It's probably in total maybe 5-6 months out of that year. I have done a video in the past detailing why, and I also bought a house, so that's kind of where my time has been going, everywhere but the game, right? Anyways guys, I'm back, and the point I'm making is when you come back to the game, you're going to be missing characters. You can see some of them more recent, some of them a little bit older, and you just have a lot to catch up on. And this can be if you're 11 million GP like me, or 12 mil. This can be if you're 6 mil, 4 mil, you name it, you're going to be in this position. So when you come back to the game, the first and most important thing you need to do is just kind of assess where your account is. We're basically looking for characters we need and characters we don't need, if that makes sense. So what I've actually done is I've made a favorite list. And now yours will look different to mine. And you may not even agree with what I've got here, but obviously we all do it based on what we want to farm, and we've had this conversation in previous videos and streams before. So to give you guys an idea of what I've missed out on, we don't have Leviathan still, but we are very close. I'll show you guys that in a second. We don't have Balin, and we basically have no progress towards him. We do not have Bo, and we do not have the Galactic Legend Ahsoka. The only other thing I don't have is Jar Jar, but honestly guys, I'm not gonna do it. Not yet anyway. It's just not on my list, and I'll explain that in a second. So like I said guys, this is more detailed towards my account, but as you're watching, if you're someone returning or maybe even someone playing normally, you may think, oh, this is quite smart, I'll try this, or you may disagree and try something different, and that's perfectly fine. So guys, in terms of the favorited characters, I'll give an explanation for each one, and I'll kind of try and get you guys on the same mindset as me. So what I did is I went through all the characters I'm missing. These are all the other ones you can see. Basically everything from Tarple down. And obviously Conquest characters suck guys, but we can use the Conquest Proving Grounds Plus to kind of redeem that. Obviously, for those of you who are lower GP or maybe just don't have needs for this character just yet, you wouldn't need to do that, and you can just do the standard 20 to 40 depending on Conquest Plus, and that would be fine for you. And I will talk about Conquest units in a second. So, Jedi Knight Cow is here for 2 reasons really. The first is he's just so important to a lot of counters. I've been looking at .gg, and I know some of you may be in the comments and being like, Glum, what are you saying, man? No one even uses Cow anymore. I have looked. He's still using a variety of counters. He's also needed for TB missions. He's just good to have in general. So I do want to take him up a relic level. I have Echo, I have Tech, and I have Hunter. Now this is because of the ship that they have. Actually, sorry, it's Tech, Hunter, and Wrecker, not Echo included there. So yeah, it's because of the ship here, which is on my list. I'll show you that to you in a second, guys. Now, I know some people say about the no mods and lower stars and relics or whatever. I do just want to invest in a ship. So that is on my list of things to do. So that's why these 3 are here. We then have Omega. Now, the reason for this is a personal reason, guys. As you know, I tend to get quite busy. And one of those downsides is when it comes to TB, I just don't have the time to fully commit when it's busy at work, because I work in an airport, guys. We've spoke about this before. And obviously it's very seasonal. So during the summer, you go to like 80,000 people traveling, and it just gets absolutely manic, right? So in these sorts of situations, I don't have the time to spend 30 minutes doing a combat mission. You may think that's exaggeration. It may be better now, but when I was playing before, that did happen on occasions, especially on the higher relic tiers. So I've got Omega, Wrecker, Hunter, Tech, and Echo here, partly for the ship and partly to make a TB team, just to hit auto, call it a day. Now I understand some people say, oh, combat missions don't matter, and I know that's kind of an old thing. This is more so before I went away. But in general, I've always been of an opinion that I just like to do them because every little helps, right? So I've got them here for that reason, and eventually I will Omicron Omega. This is something that a lot of you won't need to do. But I've always been very clear on my stance with Omicrons. I think TB1s can be good if they benefit you with a game-life balance. So that is that one. And in terms of relic levels, it just depends on where my guild's going. It's going to be either relic 7 or relic 8, so I know it's a lot of investment. Now the next one is actually Biggs. Now this one's a little bit strange here, guys, because you're thinking, why would you do Biggs? He's not really too important here. It's just a fleet one, guys. I always wanted to do it, and I've always pushed it off, so I thought, well, I've just come back, I'm already quite far behind, let's just take the hit, let's get Biggs up to R7, R8 and benefit his ship, which I actually used in a counter for Profundity versus Leviathan, 5-star, 4-star even, versus 7-star and 1, and it was partly because of Biggs coming in, and having those higher relic levels would be helpful. Now, in terms of my farm, and I have had videos on this in the past, I will link them all in the description, guys, so make sure to go watch them. I know I've been away, but a lot of the information doesn't go out of date. There's no expiry on it. It's just newer stuff changes, right? And one of those things I spoke about was you need to balance between new characters and existing characters, and making sure your roster isn't just like a cookie cutter roster. What I mean by that is you could buy all the Lightspeed bundles and be 10 million GP, but if you don't invest in them, you're going to hit that wall. And for some of you, that's okay. If you're just worried about territory wars or territory battles, that may be fine, guys. But for people like myself, you don't need every character to dominate, but having certain characters at certain thresholds is important. So that's why we've kind of got a bit of a blend here. And now we're bought with Paz. I know he's an older character now compared to when I obviously took a break, because Bo's been out for a while. But I basically sat here and I thought to myself, if I'm going to go for one journey guide character, nothing too much, but one character for me to unlock that's going to change my roster, make everything so much easier, it's got to be Bo. So that's what I'm going for, guys, and that's why they are here. I've actually already got 2 of them done, which is obviously Mando and Keller and Beck. So we've got Paz here, and we have IG here as well. And then we have some newer characters. Now, these ones I'm not 100% on, so it may change over time. But we've actually got Padawan Obi and Master Qui-Gon. Unfortunately, I didn't unlock them at the time. They just never really got farmed. I know you guys have them already, that's fine. But they are on my list, and that's because of the Assault Battle, because it is going to kind of give me the rewards back over time. Now, that then comes down to how much I want to invest. And that's just down to really how I'm feeling. My aims are 7, leave them there, and eventually maybe I take them higher, but we'll discuss that at a later point. And then the same is with these 3 here. The only difference is I'm not 100% sure if I do them, just because it's 3 characters versus 2. So there's potential there. And then the final 2 is the Great Mothers, Morgan Elsbeth. And that is because I just like Night Sisters as a faction. So this is more of like a fun one to be doing. I'm not going to be taking them straight to R7. I know they're needed for, is it Balin at R7? But honestly, guys, I'm happy taking the hit and just keeping them at R5 or below. Just having them at Relics. I can use Datacrons, use them in Grand Arena, Territory War. And then when I want to go for Balin, I will do it then. So that's kind of an idea of where I'm going and my explanations. Let's go have a look at ships, then I'll talk a little bit about Conquest, and then I'll go over some other stuff here as well, guys. Again, it's all going to be time coded, so if you want to skip to a certain section or just see what's coming up, you can. And as always, guys, make sure to comment down below what progress you're making on your account at this current moment. So guys, in terms of the ships, I've basically gone and favorited everything I don't have done. Now, Star Fortress is one of them weird ones. I like this ship. I know it's not the best, and sorry about the glare there, guys. It's just lighting issues. I will sort it out. But anyway, yeah, so Star Fortress is one of them ones I've always wanted to do that I just haven't had the time, so I'm just going to do it now. Marauder, again, it just kind of got caught up, unfortunately, between breaks. We're going to be finishing that. TIE Dagger, we're going to finish, and I'm going to show why. Raven's Claw, again, for the same reason as these. And then this is just a slow farm that eventually will get done. Honestly, guys, and you may disagree with me, but I've seen this and faced it a few times in testing. Granted, I'm not the best at fleets, and it does seem to be okay at lowish stars. So I'm actually prioritizing all of these, just getting them finished. Then I'm going to do this, which I will refresh, and they'll all be done in around about the same time. So that's what we're looking at for fleets. So now to go on to the journey guide, we are going to be finishing the Leviathan. I only have one ship left to finish, a couple of R7s and one R9. So that is our main priority. And then boat is our second. And then we're going to take that break and solidify the roster. Go through characters. Some of these will change. We'll kind of go as we do. But this is kind of my initial plan. Now, guys, the next thing you're going to do when you come back to the game for a while is you just need to check your mods. Because otherwise, stuff like this happens. And I'll show you. I actually locked into Grand Arena before checking this because I basically came back to the game, locked straight into Grand Arena for the streams. And yeah, guys, when I checked my mods after lock-in, you guys will see in a second. Yeah, some characters don't have good mods at all. And this is just because it's been switched for maybe a challenge or something in the past and I've just forgotten. And obviously you come back from a break, stuff like this does happen. So just make sure you check your mods, just go through, make sure everything's nice. Another thing that's nice to do is just look on YouTube, look on Twitch, go on .gg, and just have a look at the current meta and see if any characters have changed. Maybe before there was a character that needed to be really quick and was really important to so many counters, whereas nowadays they're just not really used. So for example, and this is more for like middle to end game, Wampa, I haven't really seen this myself. I've actually already used Wampa since coming back, but a lot of people have been telling me that Wampa just isn't as important as before. So if you had a good mod set on Wampa, don't be afraid to change it now. You know, you're just coming back to the game. Obviously, you don't have to use Wampa as your example. It can be any character in your roster. But what I'm saying is just make sure everything's up to date, because you might be able to tweak it and use their mods elsewhere. And then finally, guys, we have the Conquest units. So the ones I'm missing are Queen Amidala, Bane, Moff Gideon's basically done. Obviously, Rey will be done at the end of this next cycle. Ezra, unfortunately, I've missed out on. And Luthen. So we've missed a lot, and it does suck, guys, but hey, it is what it is. So basically what I'm doing, and this just comes down to you as an individual, is you have really 3 or 4 options. The first is you just wait, you do them naturally, which will just be proving grounds, and it will take you basically the year to unlock. The second option is you do exactly the same, but you're buying proving grounds plus, and it doubles the speed you get them. So you're looking at about 6 months there, guys. And the third option is going to be you do exactly the same, but you're refreshing the node once or twice, which means you can get them as quick as 3 months after Proving Grounds release. And the final option is you either wait for them to go into packs, or you come here and you buy them for the absolute bargain of almost 40,000 crystals, and you actually just buy them from the shop here. I'm not going to be doing that, guys. As much as I want to do it, I just don't think it's worth it. And that comes down to the fact that if I unlock them now, I'm pushing myself into a crunch that I do not want to engage in. And it's kind of similar to my critiques of Lightspeed bundles a long time ago, guys. I know it's been a while and some of you said it wasn't really necessary, and I do agree, I was a bit harsh on them. However, if I was to unlock them and whale on all of those now, I'm missing key Zetas, key Omicrons, and it's just not worth my time. Like, I know Bane only needs 2 Zetas, 2 Omicrons to function, but I also need them to go on, say, Bo-Katan, which is my goal for the account right now. So I'm happy to kind of ladder it, if that makes sense, and take my time and unlock them one by one. I honestly think that's perfectly fine. So that's kind of my opinion on Conquest units. If you're wondering what I'm actually going to do with them, I'm going to be finishing Moff Gideon because he's going to be the first to unlock. I will take him to, say, Relic 5, Relic 6, see how he works. I'm going to be using him in some teams because I liked him when he released. I have seen content for him, obviously, even I don't have him, and I just want to do him as a personal project. Now, in terms of Darth Bane, he will be done in around about 4 to 5 months, and the reason I'm letting it take that long, and I may speed it up, guys, but it's just to allow me to catch everything else up, so as soon as I get him, he can go straight to R9, get his Omicrons, get his Zetas, and be up and running. Obviously, Padme is one that I will refresh with the Proving Grounds, so as I gave you the options, that is something I'm going to be doing. And the reason being, if I'm going to go ahead and actually invest in, say, Padawan Obi-Wan, Master Qui-Gon, take them up for this event, I may as well just do Padme because that is a team there. And obviously Luthen I will do eventually, but we're a while away from that. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. Obviously you may disagree, you may agree, but basically the point of this video, guys, was just to show you my thought process when I'm approaching my account and just showing you where I'm looking to develop. Obviously it's very different for all of you guys. Although saying that, if you're in a position where you're just buying Lightspeed, you're going to be in a similar position to me, despite me going on a break, because you're going to be having all these things that unlock or level up, and you just don't have the time or resources to do so. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up, and maybe even subscribe. It does help the channel a bunch. And as always, guys, have a Glurmit day.